So today is December 7th. Not sure what day that is in the real world. I mean in the construction world. But here we are here. Have a look at the meter. Meter is still, oh, it's almost crept up to 3 now. So they haven't used even 1 kilowatt hour yet. And Jen has recovered the plants that were up top here. They put them against the fence for us. And now she's picking them up. We're gonna get some water on them in the roots. And then we're gonna eventually plant them here, but we're gonna pot them right now so that they can stay healthy, because I don't think planting them in this construction site will be good. They have this covered up. I think this is like their little cool spot. They have their water buckets down here and stuff. So they do spend some time building their shelters. And I showed you guys the washroom before. It's pretty good. And then otherwise, just more holes dug, yeah?
Just borrow the basket to bring it with us like this.
Yeah, for sure. So here they just leave their tools in the water. I'm sure their boss loves to see that. And then, so they put the water in them intentionally. I've told you this before. Softens the dirt up, so it makes it easier for them to dig. But they just leave their stuff in the holes. There's one of those buckets they use, made out of the tires. They use it as like a carry-all, because they don't use wheelbarrows here. They don't use cement mixers. There's going to be 23 of this size, which are like a 6x6. Now this one here is about a 6x12. Maybe even bigger. And on that side too, they've got some long ones. And this one's a double as well. Anywho, just thought I'd capture the walk from the one home down to the new home. It's a little shaky because I'm not using my gimbal. It's a very clean street, if you notice, like along the edges, the curbs, everything's nice and clean. People build right to their fences though. This is a newer place that was built here in the last couple of years, I'm guessing. It's got all the stainless steel gates. Got a soy dog coming at me. They love their cables though. If there's a problem, just run a new cable. Nobody's sleeping. This is where they sleep in the shade. See a bunch of heads popping up. It's like whack-a-mole. Soy dogs have found me. It's always a standoff. No talk, no touch, no eye contact. Got a lot of holes dug. Markers here. This number 1 shows the exact row going down to where the middles are going to be on number 1s, and then we have these ones here, and they just grid everything off with real thin cable. It's like fishing line. And then they start planting these poles, which they build up from themselves with the rebar. And that jig I've shown you guys a few times. She's just starting the last row of holes here. This is a little barefoot lady. She's in the shade. So the big change today is the water install. So they're using their cutting wheel here, which has now stopped. They got to about, I don't know if you can see it from here, so they were cutting across. They made it to here. They just need to make it to here. And they're going to run it up here somewhere, probably to where it's closer by the power pole, 7 meters, and put the water meter here. So the water meter themselves are kind of like this. The water comes up out of the ground through the meter and then back down underground. In this case, you know, through the fence and into the house. But the fence is not built because it'll be built after the house. So they're just planning on putting the meter in here somewhere. But his saw blade quit cutting the road. That's the supervisor. And that's the leader in the truck in the white hat over here. Otherwise, yeah, 3 holes to go, a little bit more depth on them.
Hey, Steve-O, here's a safety video for you. He's got his flip-flops on, his long jeans. That's all you need here. The other guy's got the hose. We got this trough in the road to run the water pipe. Just thought you'd like to see the way they do it. Most guys don't wear flip-flops. Over in the construction here, the guys in the hole are bare feet.
They could just use a shovel it into the hole, out of the hole, but they tend to fill up this little bucket. And one person just stands and watches, and then they pass the bucket off. So things have changed slightly. They're grinding up the rebar, cutting them to size. We have a professional cement mixer now. We have these guys banging bamboo together. We have this guy over the top. They had to go to the other construction site, pick up some of the equipment that they're going to be needing here. So another update, this jig device here used to be over here when they were using it to bend the bars, and that's just when they made the first 2. But now they're doing a lot, so they've moved it over here, so they have more leverage to bend the rebar over here, which is about 20 feet long, 24 feet long, 30 feet long, so they can put it into this jig and bend it and get all their shapes. Interesting, because other construction sites, they just buy them pre-made. And here we have like 5 guys, 6 guys building the jig. A different crew than the diggers. These guys look a little bit more organized. They're all wearing flip-flops. So they've made these big baskets. They're about a 6-foot square, maybe a foot deep. They're going to be dropped into the holes for the bases of the concrete. And they got all the bags of concrete here. Got the metal for the foundations. Got the big cement mixer. Got Mum back there. And that's 1 minute. They're walking on the skinny ledge. Energy's up, electricity almost 4. And the water is now hidden inside here. Protected. So instead of a broom, the lady uses an old flip-flop. She's always barefoot, but that's what she uses to sweep the lane now, is a flip-flop. Some things you just shake your head and you go, well, that's just the way they do them here, I guess. Now they're sweeping it down the drain. So today's update, they finished off the baskets, which go into the holes, the base supports. Now they're building more of the vertical poles. So fella here is bending the squares, which I'll show you later. At a straight bar. They use them down here. So they've got a bunch of the rebar. Like the footings are already bent on them now. So these are the ones for the baskets, the basket team. And then these are the longer ones here, which are used for the vertical supports. So they have them laid out. They put the 4 bars in. Those squares that this guy was making, they have a pile of them over here against the wall. They slide down, I don't know, 30, 40 of them. And then they tie them off about every 6 inches on all 4 sides. And the footings are down at the other end there behind this guy. Right there. That's what they stand on when they do the cement. Then they'll actually tie them off to the baskets as well. That's what I've been told. Or they can, I don't think they'd weld them. Somebody talked about welding, but anyways, these are the baskets guys. So today is the day the guys are getting serious with the concrete forms. They're building the boxes behind me, the steel frames. They've got all the rebar stretched out. They're going to be chopping it down to size. They've got their jig set up over here. They have 23 to build, maybe another 20 or so to go. Need a haircut. Yeah, it's another video. Don't worry about that. I'll just put the sun in your eyes. How about that? Anyways, we got the water, we got the electricity, got everything. All the holes are dug except for the last couple because they need to put their equipment someplace. They'll deal with those after they start filling in the back of the lot. So that's it for now.